identified this desk was made probably in Norwich, Connecticut. And we know that because of the triple scroll feet. And that's a design that was really only done in Norwich. And so these were regional characteristics prior to the revolution in most cases, because the people, the cabinet makers, the joiners, they didn't, if they were working in Norwich, they didn't want to get their stuff mixed up with guys in New York City. So they came up with their own design in Norwich, and the people, the cabinet makers in New York had their style feet. And so they just didn't mingle that much unless cabinet makers went back and forth. Norwich was really incredibly well. There was such great talent of cabinet makers and silversmiths, and Norwich was really, you know, later on it got the name the Rose of New England. That came along a little later on, but it really was an incredibly cultured, knowledgeable, very bunch of smart people there. And that was because of the inland port. Norwich had a very, the Thames, they call it the Thames, not the Thames, they call it the Thames in Connecticut. And that was a deep river port right to Norwich, and it brought all these ideas. Norwich is great stuff. And so we don't know who made this one. I wish we did, but we don't.
No, we're always looking for that chalk inscription. Some little pencil down there.
By the way, this desk is cherry, and it's not, cherry is not as heavy as maple. So you won't hear us grunt as much. You will hear us grunt.
A little bit, but before we do this, so I don't have to explain this while I'm holding the desk. You'll see the different construction of the feet on this one, where the sides of this case are now dovetailed into the bottom board. So that the sides and the bottom border and the top, it's all like a box construction, dovetailed together. And then the feet are constructed with glue blocks and a dovetail joint in the corner where the front and the side foot facing, there's a blind dovetail joint in there, which is very difficult to make, but gives it a lot of strength. But that strength is in the dovetail of the foot and the glue blocks holding it on. And so these feet actually work to support the desk, as opposed to the case sides, which are holding to support that figured maple desk. Yeah.
This is the desk website. So you can see these triple scrolls right here. That is as pure Norwich as can be. So you might want to say, well, who's going to buy this desk from them? Somebody from Norwich, like Denny Gibbs. It's a possibility. We always think that people love to buy things from their area. Okay, the casters came later. There was a time starting about 1850 to about 1880, 1900. They put casters on everything. Everything had to roll around the house. You know, whether it was done for dusting purposes or it was like a rage. You got to have wheels on your furniture. And so some of them are not so bad. Some are really ugly. But that's what it was for.
And again, as we're putting these back, you can kind of see the quality of the construction, and it's a little bit finer than the New Hampshire or the figured maple desk, New England desk, and just thinner sides, thinner drawer bottom, nicely finished throughout.
So even though the cabinet maker used wooden pins on the little drawers, in the interior drawers, he used little T-head nails on the big board.
I just kind of asked Arthur quietly, do you think these poles are original? Because generally you'll see a little round brass knob and not something like this. With Norwich's connection and kind of trade connections, it's possible that they would have got something as fancy as this. And they're in the original holes. Pretty good. Yeah, they noticed that. Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's very likely that, you know, the cabinet maker who made this said, you know, I want to up the ante a little bit. This desk would cost 50 cents more for nice brasses. You have to think, though, These guys were not robots. You know, they did something different all the time. And when we think of who made this, if say for instance this was signed by a cabinet maker in Norwich, chances are he was going to do this, he was going to carve the draw, he was going to make the feet, and maybe do the scalping on the balances. And the more sort of mundane work would have been done by the journeyman or the apprentices. And so when we speak of the cabinet maker, he might have owned the shop, ran the shop, but he wasn't going to be planing the boards. And a typical apprenticeship for a journeyman cabinet maker was 7 years. And that, with that, they got room and board and clothes. And that's it. They weren't even getting paid. But that was, and they would live with the cabinet maker and perhaps in a room in the house. And that was their until they learned. And then they went off and spread their wings and maybe went to a town that didn't have a cabinet maker. And so that's how so the foot on this one, the apprentice learned, hey, I know how to make a triple swivel feet. I watched my master do this for a long time. And he goes to, Lenox, Massachusetts. And before you know it, and the reason I say Lenox, Massachusetts is because the best cabinet maker in Colchester was a named Samuel Loomis, who made spectacular furniture. And we had a program on Samuel Loomis, chest on chest, and some furniture that he made. And he taught a cabinet maker who went to Liverant, Massachusetts by name Calvin Willie. Sometimes we can't even tell which one Samuel Loomis made and which one Calvin Willie made. Except we once found there was once a chest of drawers. There was a house in outside of Lenox, Massachusetts that was kept like a safe since the 18th century. And after everybody died off, the items in the house went to auction, and there were 4 absolutely spectacular pieces in that house, all made by Calvin Willie. And it said, made by Calvin Willie, and the date, the bureau, one drawer in the bureau was signed in chalk, big writing, made by Calvin Willie. And all of a sudden, now, we are actually a little puzzled from time to time whether Calvin Willie made it or his master, Samuel Loomis. And so that was an incredibly exciting day. There was a highboy that brought 400,000. There was a bureau that brought close to 100,000. A secretary that's in the governor's residence that brought 77,000. And a clock that brought 30,000. And this house had been closed up like a vault. Nobody even knew the stuff was there until this particular day when we all saw the advertisement of this incredible group of 4 items.